Buenos días, estimada comunidad educativa pastoral, en este día miércoles 11 de agosto. Como ya es tradición, en cada día de este mes celebramos lo que significa las misiones salesianas. Así es que yo les invito a que nos coloquemos en actitud de oración para que descubramos lo que otros salesianos alrededor del mundo están haciendo en este tiempo de pandemia. En el nombre del Padre, y del Hijo, y del Espíritu Santo. Amén. Les quiero invitar ahora a que podamos ver un video sobre los salesianos que están en India y cómo desde ese lugar también afrontan el problema de la pandemia.
పిల్ల జల్లా ఇంటికాడ ఎట్లా ఉండ్రో నా ముసలి తల్లి ఏమి పెట్టి సాదుతుందో పూట పూట చేసుకొని బతికటోళ్ళం పూట గడవా ఇంత దూరం వచ్చినోళ్ళం.
My thoughts go to the kith and kin back home. What has my aged mother to eat? A life on the fringes, surviving from hand to mouth, walking miles to fill the bellies that crave food, in a country that is big, and lives are short. Affected by the coronavirus pandemic, feeling shred to bits and pieces. What is it all about? The odd life and all the odds of life. Isn't this virus worse than a life lived in abject misery? Can influence and other factors prove stronger than our family bonds? Be back home. Together, we shall survive, just with what we have. Our little children, with fluttering eyes searching for food. My sweet wife, in endless grief. I do not care for buses and vehicles. Shall cross the borders on foot. My thoughts go to the kith and kin back home. To cross the borders on my bare feet. When the pandemic struck an unsuspecting world, and humanity faced one of its more severe crises ever, with borders closed, vehicles off the roads, police and the army patrolling the streets, industries and businesses shut, medical services overwhelmed. The section that was worst affected was that of the migrant workers. Those who had left their faraway homes and villages in search of jobs and livelihoods in the cities, in the industrialized zones, in the homes of the affluent. They formed an anonymous code of masons, carpenters, painters, machine and crane operators, agricultural workers, house helps in their millions, easily distinguishable from the locals by their dress and language, crowding the central crossroads of the urban centers, waiting to be offered a job and a chance to earn a living. The pandemic hit them hard.
They lost their daily earnings, it left their purses empty, and they were traumatized with the haunting thoughts of their kith and kin back home, and that set off in the process a reverse migration.
With their paltry belongings balanced on their heads, their wives and children in tow, they crowded the railway and bus stations in their thousands, literally laying a siege. And when the trains and transport shut down, they moved out on foot, resolved to be back home with their own, anxiously awaiting news of them, hundreds and even thousands of kilometers away, and that despite the uncertain future that stared them in the face.
As always, the children had to pay a very high price. They found themselves shut out of school, with many among them also deprived of the one meal a day they relied on at school.
Children with their education disrupted are at a loss about their future prospects, especially when they do not have the home-based technology and the tools required for remote learning.
In the midst of this dismal scenario of distress, which threatened to tear apart the social fabric and seek to bury all hope, there also emerged opportunities for fundamental changes and to give a new orientation to human living and acting.
That of overcoming the tendency to withdraw into oneself by the natural instinct at self-preservation, and to reach out in genuine fraternal human solidarity to those in need.
There have been several heartwarming examples of individuals, groups, and organizations going beyond the boundaries of caste, color, creed, or customs, and motivated solely by human considerations, reaching out a hand to help.
The Salesians of the South Asia region were no exception to this outpouring of fraternal expressions of genuine solidarity, inspired by a sense of being part of one global human family.
The various humanitarian efforts of Don Bosco institutions around the world are inspired by a genuine sense of human solidarity. This is in keeping with the general ethos of the South Asia region, as seen in the Maha Upanishadi concept of Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, the world is one family, or the famous Tamil concept of Yadam Ure, Yavarum Kelir. To us, all towns are our own and everyone our kin.
The rector major of the Salesians, Reverend Father Angel Fernandez Artime, affirms, our message underlines and reiterates that faced with this harsh and painful reality, with its dire consequences, we continue to express the certainty of being moved by hope, because God in His Spirit continues to make all things new.
Despite the pain, the loss, and the uncertainty, the COVID-19 pandemic offers an opportunity for all people of goodwill to join in God's design to recreate the world in the image of that one Father, who wants all His children to break down the walls of division, eschew violence, and build that one large family of His children, characterized by fraternal love and solidarity.
Agradeciendo al Señor por todo el bien que estos hermanos salesianos están haciendo allá en el subcontinente indio, pidamos que esta gracia de salir a servir a quienes más lo necesitan, lo podamos también vivir nosotros, especialmente ahora que estamos a puertas de celebrar la Semana Salesiana, el cumpleaños de nuestro Padre Don Bosco. Lo hacemos haciendo juntos la oración que Cristo nos enseñó. Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Venga a nosotros tu reino. Hágase tu voluntad en la tierra como en el cielo. Danos hoy nuestro pan de cada día. Perdona nuestras ofensas, como también nosotros perdonamos a los que nos ofenden. No nos dejes caer en la tentación y líbranos del mal. Amén. Y Don Bosco siempre se encomendó a María. Ella fue su auxilio, la ayuda en todas las empresas que tuvo que realizar, en todas las tareas que el Señor le encomendaba llevar adelante. Que María sea también nuestra fuerza, que ella, con su manto protector, cuide y proteja a cada uno de nosotros y a nuestras familias. Decimos juntos: Dios te salve María, llena eres de gracia, el Señor es contigo. Bendita eres entre todas las mujeres y bendito es el fruto de tu vientre, Jesús. Santa María, Madre de Dios, ruega por nosotros pecadores, ahora y en la hora de nuestra muerte. Amén. María, auxilio de los cristianos, ruega por nosotros. San Juan Bosco, ruega por nosotros. En el nombre del Padre, y del Hijo, y del Espíritu Santo. Amén. Que tengamos una excelente jornada.